Morning, Nevada Virtual Academy. Good morning, good Friday morning, actually. It's kind of crazy in here, a lot of pollen in the air. The allergies are like ruling the land. Mr. N, guys, for the proficiency exam, let's remember how to find the slope for a line that passes through two given points, right? And as you can see, problem 11, 12, 13, we have 2 points with known coordinates, right? Two order pairs, if you want to call them that way. And the question is asking to find the slope. And many of you have, contacted me and asked me, well, how should we do this? Because, I don't know, we don't remember, we forgot. And that's okay. Let's try to learn it or to remember how this thing was done in your 8th grade, 9th grade, or 7th grade, right? Okay, and everybody knows that when you talk about slope, which in algebra we mostly um, call it m, right? M is the variable that we use for the slope. We learned that the slope is what? Rise over run, or the difference in y's, right? y1 minus y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or we can call the whole thing here the change in y over change in x, right? So that was what gives you the slope. Now, going back here, what do you guys notice? All these points are given to you in what? X, y, x, y, x, y, and the second point, again, x, y, right? And it doesn't matter which one of these points are you going to consider the first point or the second point, which one of these 2 points you want to name, let's say x2, y2, and the other one x1, y1, or backwards, it really doesn't matter. But the easiest way to find the slope when you have two pairs of known coordinates is to write your points, your coordinates, one on the top of the other, like, stack them up, right? So I have the first point for problem number 11 with the coordinates 2 and 5, and the other point with the coordinates 3 and 6. And I wrote them nicely, in this column like, right? In a stack. What I'm going to do next? Well, I have to find the change in y and the change in x. And what you guys notice here? In this column here on the left, I have all my x's. On the other column, I have all my y's. All I have to do is to find the difference. Basically, I'm subtracting the bottom from the top. Okay? So what I have now? The difference or the change in x will be 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And that's your run, okay? Or you may call it change in x. On the other side, subtracting your y's, right? Find the difference in y. Find how, many units up or down you have to move from the first point to the other one, right? And I have 5 minus 6, which is negative 1. That's your rise, or your change in y. Well, we are done, because all you have to do next will be to find what is the rise over run, what is the change in y over the change in x, and you just plug in your values. Rise, negative 1. Run, negative 1, which means your slope for this problem is going to be 1. And that's the answer. Slope equals 1. And we're done with the first one. Follow the same approach for the next problem. First point, 4 and 1. Second point, negative 4 and 1. Okay. Subtract the bottom from the top. I'm going to subtract everything that's here at the bottom for everything that's over there on the top, making sure that you're subtracting x from x, y from y. Okay, 4 minus negative 4. Be careful here. 4 minus negative 4, if you guys remember from your 7th grade, when you subtract, you add the opposite of that number. This is 8, and your change in x, or your run for this problem, for these 2 points, is 8. That's your change in x. The other column, the y's column, find the y's difference. 1 minus 1, that's 0. And that's your rise. Or if you want, the change in y. Your slope, m, is rise over run, or change in y over change in x, which is change in y. 0, change in x. 8, and that is 0. So what is your slope? M equals 0. Which means what? You have no slope, right? As you notice, if you will have these points on the coordinate system, 1 is 4 and 1. Supposingly 4 is here, and 1 is over there, right? That will be your first point. And the other one is negative 4 and 1. So if I will go with negative 4 and run, if negative 4 will be there, and 1 is there, your line is actually a line that's parallel to the x-axis. That's x, that's y-axis, right? So that's why your slope is 0. There's no slope, no incline if you want. It's just a flat line. That's it. Problem number 13. Same story, same approach. You should try this on your own. Pause this video and go on your own and then check with my work, see if you got it right. That's the way we learn, okay? So when you're watching the math video, you're starting it, you stop, you read the problem, and you try to go on your own. You try to do the first step. If you don't get it, if you don't have any clue, then click play. Let it play for a while until I'm telling you, or the other teacher is telling you what should be done first. Pause it. Try it on your own. See if you know what should be the next step. Okay, if you don't know, you play the video again, then you pause it, then you try on your own, then you play it. That's the way it works, okay? If you're just watching this video as a nice movie, right? Well, nice or not, I mean, that's your opinion. It's not going to happen. You may learn something, you may understand something, but you have to pause it and you have to write. If you're not writing, guys, as you're watching this math videos, you will not learn. Math is done and is acknowledged and is learned by doing work on the paper or on the tablet like I'm doing right now, with your hand, with the writing tool. You have to write it. Okay, enough talking. Let's move on with the problem. I've got 4 and 1, my first point. The other point, negative 6 and negative 4. Okay, so just go ahead and subtract x from x, y from y. 4 minus negative 6, right? 4 minus negative 6, I'm going to show it to you one more time. 4 minus negative 6, what is the rule? Add the opposite. That will be 10. Be careful, right? That would be 10. That's your change in x. Okay, 10. 1 minus negative 4, that would be 1 minus negative 4 would be 1 plus the opposite of negative 4, which is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. And that's the change in y. Slope, rise, over run. Change in y over change in x. And you guys should start getting used with these notations, because as you're moving to college, you're not going to see any more rise and run. They will deal with change in y over change in x. Okay, so we're kind of growing up. We're getting to more formal notation, more complicated or scientific, if you want, approach, professional. That's the mathematical way. No more rise and run. Change in y over change in x. M will be change in y. We just found it. 5, change in x, 10. And that tells you that your slope will be what? 1/2. Are we done? well, we are done with these problems. We're not done yet. There's, a long way to go. And this will never end. This is it. I will get back with more problems on the slope, but this will do it for this 3 problems. Any questions? Send me a message, Kmail, whichever works for you. All right? Thank you very much. I will see you next time.